Guys, I want to quickly introduce Dimas. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you guys have known or heard about him before, but I wanted to give a bit of a history because we actually know each other quite a long time. 15 years, yes, 15 years. Yeah, 17 years, 2008. So, through my previous company before Dana's, I had a small companies that we did also payment, but specifically for gaming. So I got to know Dimas during that time, right? So you didn't even start at Ticket.com at the time, right?
No, back then was my first or second startup back then.
Yeah, what was it?
It's an online auction website
Yes, it was an
and
online,
a online magazine app.
the online magazine app,
Yeah,
right?
the online
So you're
magazine app.
connected to our company Indomoc Restaurant,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we know each other a long time, and then it's such a really, I mean, for me, it's such a blessing that you know we still each see each other in this industry because our batch, not really that many people left here. Yeah, so we're pretty, yeah, I would say a rare breed here, and yeah, no, it is. Oh, please give applause. And Dimas, and I know him so from very long time. He's always been passionate about this technology. I mean, the journey that he went through, everything to get where you are today is it's inspiring. So, tell us a bit. What is your journey? How your journey started? Because there's a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs as well, especially among the tech, and then as like they want to know the journey of such a established individual as yourself.
Okay. Where do I start? From the very beginning kali ya.
Yeah, just whatever
Okay.
you want to say.
Actually, my journey started with an accident. Back then, I was supposed to fly to US and study there, but because of some things, family issues, my parents decided, oh, let's not go to the US. You just study here. I ended up studying in UPH waktu itu. Um, Back then, I didn't know that the decision. I was very upset about it because I wanted to see the world gitu. Both we actually started two startups. First is the Wayang Force, which is the online reader. Back then we don't have iBooks, guys. Uh, and second was the online auction. That's actually also one of the biggest in Indonesia. So come to think of it, if I went to the US, probably there won't be that and there won't be tickets. So I got lucky. Yeah. And I think I saw the video of Steve Jobs when he say, "Oh, you can only connect the dots when you look backwards," and I think that's true. So got quite blessed.
Okay,
That's the
great.
story. Yeah.
Come on, guys. Why? Because you started Wayang Force. It's actually done really well at the time. And then Swinde, right?
Yes.
Um, and then what makes you suddenly go to want to start Ticket.com? Because Ticket.com also was the first, right?
Yes.
It's not Traveloka. It's Ticket.com was the first.
Yes. So basically, a lot of my history was failure. We actually started 4 or 5 startups before Ticket. The first startup was the online auction. It grew very big very quickly, tapi suddenly there is like 150 competitors. It's like, oh man, so shit gitu. Terus after making so much money, in the month 12 or 18, tiba-tiba plateauing, terus lose a lot of money gitu. Jadi kayak, and second was Wayang Force, also second biggest in Indonesia, but then realize the market is small, kecil banget gitu. Yang baca majalah berapa banyak gitu kan. Cuma itu udah second biggest. Our revenue was only 15K. 20K udah top-topnya deh. 20K US dollar. 1 month ya. Jadi udah nothing. Uh, Back then we realized also that after Wayang Force, Bound City inget gak? The third one was the one we started was a check-in clone gitu, Foursquare. If you guys still remember Foursquare yang masih check-in, that's my third startup. Waktu itu we realized we get 500,000 users loh back then.
I remember because we discussed it in our office.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah, we discussed it in our office.
500,000 users but revenue almost zero. So sad gitu. Jadi kayak so we learn through the iterations. Oh, awalnya too much competition kills us. Oh, market too small, also not nice. No business model, also not nice. 500,000 users, we try to go to McDonald, propose. Proposalnya awalnya start mau 150 juta, mereka cuma punya budget 15. Terus kayak, sedih banget. Gitu. Terus kayak, per store Pak, oh enggak, campaign wide. Oh aduh gila. Nggak cukup buat bayar satu engineer gua. I think yeah, and after that, actually, the one who pitched the idea was Wenas. Well, man, we cannot do this. I think let's just start something with a real business model that already works outside. Back then, we were planning to start either e-commerce or a travel agent. Karena both of them, waktu itu pain point-nya very, very strong. Di e-commerce, logistiknya belum ada, terus kayak lala-lalanya belum beres semua. Di travel agent, when 15 years ago, back then gak kayak sekarang nih yang tinggal buka app ya. Back then when you want to go to Singapore, you have to call 3 different airlines, 3 different travel agents just to ask the price, the schedule, terus nanti lupa transfer, tiket belum di issue, ribet lah gitu. So we decided to choose ticket.com gitu waktu itu. Akhirnya kita choose travel, just for the sake we wouldn't want to do logistics.
No, I mean,
Logistics is like, oh man gitu.
well, given that's the directions, I think you reach profitability faster than if you do e-commerce, right?
Yeah, of course. Because an OTA is in general is profitable. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the
Yes.
thing, right?
Betul, betul.
I would say that's the right decisions. Okay, so
Yes.
you started and then you started ticket.com and then you had some other companies in the past. What do you think make startup successful or not?
Investing is a scalable, repeatable business model, which means that startup juga scalable, repeatable business model. Meaning you create a product good enough to retain customers and then find users who is loving your product, and in that journey make sure those acquired user is less than your acquisition cost, and that's it. That's a startup. Maksudnya
Yeah,
secara very simple ya itu startup gitu.
No, it is, but that's why I like it when you said
Uh,
you make product good enough so you can attract and
Yeah.
then retain users, right? So for
Yes.
you, product is very important.
I think so because number one-nya itu should start with product. Like I think Dana is one of the very few examples yang you always mention about 0.0000000 something defect rate. See that's like top of mind kan, langsung inget ceng gitu.
Thank you.
Di kita maunya user friendly and the customer service and the post booking journey is good. So that's where we want, because travel is different than payment. When payment you're not successful, you can try again. For travel, ini 6 bulan lu punya saving nih. Kalau gua udah di depan airport terus nggak ada bookingan gua, wah, you better make sure I will on top of the list for me to fly the next flight, or otherwise I'm going to kill you gitu kan.
Yeah.
Because kita realize gitu, kita ini commodity, transfer is a commodity, hotel and flight is a commodity. How do you be different? Yet with those things, with our services is going to be different. And with the stability, you're going to be different. People rely on you guys to do this gitu. I think that's what makes us different sih.
Okay. No, that's amazing, right? I think that's resonate with us as well. I mean, in fact, before you come here, we were just discussing about app ratings. How important it's like.
I have an insight for that.
Okay.
Okay. I'll share ya.
Yeah.
Would you mind?
Please.
Before to our app rating, I mean 3 or 4 years ago, our app rating sama our competitor was quite distant. Ours was 4.5. our competitor was 4.8.
Mm.
Ada beda 0,3 gitu.
Yeah.
We realized when we test the customer NPS, ours was higher.
Okay. That's interesting.
Why is our apps rating slower than them?
Yeah.
Ternyata what we learned is they didn't filter out their they actually a little bit filtering out their reviews,
Okay.
and number two, just make sure you bombard them with positive reviews.
Okay. So
Jadi
pay for review, yeah?
bukan pay. Jadi
Mhm.
we realize itu people are most likely to comment
Yeah.
or a review on the second purchase.
Okay.
The first one mereka biasanya cuma tutup, mungkin mereka belum tahu servisnya.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
second one mereka usually
Uh,
udah mulai ini kasih 5 star gitu.
yeah.
And after that jadi sama sekarang. Malah mungkin in trajectory-nya kita
Better, yeah.
mungkin lebih higher. Tapi after that we see 4.6, 4.7, 4.8 cepat gitu. Jadi kita ternyata bukan meminimalisir yang bad
Hmm.
reviews, tapi bombard with positive
good
ones.
reviews.
Ya.
Okay.
Kita itu interesting for us, the learning.
No, it's a good learning. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just what you call growth hacking, right? You can hack the growth, you can hack reviews as well, but that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it still revealed the customer reviews, intentions, right? And their motivations. So here's the thing, right? I mean, a lot of you guys use ticket.com, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Belanja yang banyak ya. Bayarnya pakai Dana. Wah,
Ya dong.
keren lu.
Thank you. So, how do you how do differentiate yourself among the other OT?
Kalau kita sih, I think two really set us apart. Number one, back then when you see in 2019, 2020, people wanted to be a super app. We are very clear that we want to focus on ticket.com is travel and entertainment platform. Tapi we also understand we are under a group, right? So Blibli Ticket Group. For those of you who don't know, Blibli, Tiket, Range Market, dan Dekoruma udah jadi satu nih. Kita kayak Power Ranger gitu. Gitu. So we wanted to be not a super app, but super ecosystem, kata-katanya. Jadi everybody is doing a job, but is doing their own job, but fundamentally bawahnya satu, piringnya satu nih, atasnya ada nasi, ada apa, itu piringnya satu. Jadi we wanted to be similar to Google sebenarnya. Jadi loginnya satu, datanya satu, we can see 360 view of the customer's point of view and spending. Cuma ya everybody is doing their job gitu. That's who we wanted to become. So I think focus plays a key role. Number two, customer centricity-nya itu sih. I will tell you two examples.
Yeah.
Because people can say customer centric very easily.
Yeah.
Apa sih gitu?
Yeah.
During COVID, I mean, those was the hardest time for us lah ya, when sales was almost zero. Kan travel,
of course,
buy gitu basically.
Yeah, of course.
Kita sampai bikin hotel voucher bro waktu itu. We were selling vouchers back then. Back then itu kita ada sekitar massive amount of money to be refunded to customers. Back then, most of the OTA in the world and also in Indonesia do not refund the money because it will hurt the company's cash flow. But back then, we take a brave decision to refund back the money to the customers because maybe for you guys who is like A class gitu, mungkin nggak gitu ngefek ya. Tapi people who is in the B class, C class, who only have those kind of monies to fly. And waktu itu kan krisis, jatuhnya krisis ya.
Yeah, it is.
The job itself, the cutting, like the work from home. We actually refunded the money. It was a crazy decision back then. That like cuma orang gila lah yang ambil that decision. And looking back, I think it's one of the best decision that we've made. I think the people who stayed, itu the lifetime value was so much higher, and their brand affinity to us, terus kayak their trust to us was so high that oh di mau di mana kemana-mana juga
I
enggak.
think that's the key, right?
I
Trust.
trust ya, I think
That's the
so.
build that trust. I think
Karena
that's a
I
good,
agree ya, trust ya.
yeah, that's a really good example, right? Building the trust. And if you have that trust, then the customer automatically, the lifetime value increase. Oh, that's,
Oh, it was, aduh refund nggak ya waktu itu stress kan.
uh,
But yeah, lucky that we did. I mean, it was a best decision that we made that time.
so Ristim, right? Ristim, listen, right?
Oh, harus berseberangan dengan bisnis ya kayaknya. Kalau
Enggak dong, of course.
harus fight kita.
Tadi we just said, risk is about loss and opportunity, not just
Yes.
about loss.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah?
Karena long time value-nya baru kelihatan after like 3 to 4, 5 years. Oh, it makes sense gitu.
No, that's amazing. I think we can learn so much from that as well. The building trust. Okay, so now we're gonna change a bit of directions, but still relevant. How do you think technology is relevant to you?
Yeah, for me, I'm more tech native sih ya. Because my
Good.
first startup was also a
Yeah,
website.
he's a coder, guys.
No, no. I'm a business guys, but tech savvy, yes, but not coding.
Okay.
Almost. I think tech uh, changed my way of thinking. Not saying the old way of thinking is not true, but whenever I wanted to invest something, or whenever I want to build something, I was thinking, oh, can we scale this to all the Indonesian people?
Yeah.
There was a joke saying to my friend who study in the US, Dimas, I'm quite curious why when people in the US make a startup, they design it for the world.
Mm.
And when people who make a startup in Indonesia, they design it just for Indonesia.
Mm.
What kind of different mindset is this? But
Mm.
to me, mungkin karena Indonesia belum menyatu semuanya ya, we haven't cracked the system. That's why we haven't go out. Cuma what I learned from this is that the scalable thinking model sih. How can two persons co-founders in the US wanted to dominate the world gitu? Kan nggak aneh kan? Oh di kita aja breaking the barriers, I would say. Gimana kalau if your dream is unlimited, how big can you dream gitu? So that's always one of the things that is my learning sih. So and then ya berdarah-darah to chase that dream gitu. We bleed it out to chase the dreams gitu. I think that's what changed in my perspective when I become a tech
entrepreneur, yeah.
entrepreneurs, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now that this is a question that usually everybody asks. How's AI has impacted you or your company?
Ini very interesting nih, karena I just talked with one of the senior AI guys in Google. Most of them will say productivity increment. Most of them. Kita ngobrol waktu itu tuh like how do we want to framework our AI adoption kan. Dia bilang, oh one, you better make sure your leaders is not people manager. Number one. Because the people managers will not use AI. Terus kedua, they will need people to do the job gitu. Two, usually the entry levels biasanya gone. Tapi ini will create another problem. Jadi misalnya kalau di Google itu ada 1 sampai 10, dia bilang tuh coders to level 3 to level 4 mungkin tadinya kan kayak di piramid itu dia yang paling gede ya. With AI itu probably in tech startup especially like us probably it's going to be like kayak pensil jadinya. Atau malah bisa jadi kayak diamond. Karena you will still need the entry level position. Karena kalau enggak lu groom siapa ke level 5 ke level 6. Enggak mungkin tiba-tiba ada orang masuk loncat level 5 gitu. Enggak gitu juga gitu. And so that's probably what changed. One people can handle multiple functions and has to be very, how do you say ya, technically good at the job. Two, entry level positions is going to be different. I'm answering this in organizational perspective, yeah. And more automations, I would say. I mean, we adopted AI before LLM was cool, yeah. The search, our price is different for each of you guys. Jangan komplain ya, tapi we don't mark up kok, we mark down. Jadi kalau misalnya Vince, oh harganya pasti mahal. Mungkin kalau ada yang price sensitif, orangnya di situ udah lebih lebih murah gitu. So I think more automation, uh, yeah, those three I would say is the key learning from us.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, so before I throw it to the floor, and because I just told them, it's great if we can invite someone external and always give comments on how good or how bad we are. So the key has always been how we can improve, right? So, Dimas, what can you recommend to Dana about how our collaboration has been? What's good and what can we improve?
what's goodnya, I think the campaign was done in just less than 1.5 months after we met.
1.5 months? So slow, guys.
That's so, guys. Okay. Make it 2 weeks, guys. Okay. I think that's the good ones.
Okay.
To the result has been okay, I
Okay.
would say. But then again, if you want to dream big,
Mm.
and I know that Dana has been used with a lot more users.
Mhm.
I was just expecting the results to be more.
Mm,
So
mm.
I think we need to do some few iterations on what
Yeah.
we want to do. And I can invest more. Then I can also invest more on making it bigger because kita ngerasa barangnya udah ada, tinggal orang-orang di sana belum tahu aja.
Betul, betul.
I think that one where I think we need to improve because sky is the limit, right?
Yeah.
And the people secondary and tertiary cities yang mungkin belum tahu tiket tapi tahu Dana is something that you guys can caplok gitu. That's opportunity easier, tinggal digigit aja gitu.
So campaign management, yeah. So I think that's a point, guys. I think we discussed this in ESCOM, but I haven't discussed this in front of like the town hall yet. We need to do faster iterations. So currently, I mean, honestly, I mean, 1.5 months, it's okay, but we could do so much better because iterations, A/B testing, right? Because here's the thing: can be successful, and can be not successful. But if we don't iterate, then we never know. I think the key has always been it's like constant improvement to see which one is going to reach and relevant and how to do it. Because no matter how good our data is, no matter how your data is, and we said we know each other, our customers, but when we work together, that's a new thing.
New thing, yeah.
It's a new thing, right? It's a new scope. It's not, yeah, it's not that we think A, you think B, A plus B equals AB. No, sometimes A plus B equals Z. Seriously. So we always have to see whether or not we want to show to the people, and we can use our technology both and learn each other to do that. I think that's the key. Second thing is what I want to ask to you is like what else can we improve in regards our either our payment success rate, our refund process, our customer complaint. If there's anything that you or your team later on might know, please tell us because we always want to improve. For example, know what Ticket.com success rate is. Let's just say they're 90.
I think so far has been good, to be honest, Vince.
Okay,
So that's
cool.
good because I think the top of mine is 99.9999, right? So it works.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we always said if you are happy with 99.99, let's do 99.999.
Yes. Soal tambah 9 di belakangnya.
Yeah.
KPI kalian, by the way. Good luck.
Okay,
Legal.
I want to ask your strategies in handling customer complaint because I think it is very important and to know that Tiket is actually under the Jarum group, Pak. Gitu. I think there is one of the legendary women in BCA that actually is very successful in handling customer complaints. So I also want to know what is your strategies, whether there is any resemblance with BCA, like for example.
Wah, good question. First, like I mentioned just now, whenever there's one complaint, we make sure the team knows how painful it is because that angka 1 is a customer gitu yang lagi already 6 months savingsnya yang untuk travel itu gitu. Jadi one, make sure the team knows the urgency. That's how I would say. Two, we want to make sure all of the services are already available on the app sebelum mau itu refund, mau itu reschedule, mau itu request, mau itu apa, itu tuh always ada di sana. Kalau misalnya nggak bisa, masih butuh bantuan, the customer service itu tuh the first one, ya of course chatbot. The dream was the L1 itu chatbot. Number L2, maksudnya yang kalau if your case masuk help center atau you case chat to us, we want to pair immediately the customer service who is already specialized at the job. For example, you have an issues with flight reschedule. The, the customer service who is paired to you is not a general customer service. It's a flight reschedule specialist. By then, lebih cepat solve-nya. Jadi kayak karena kita 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 apa
That's
ya?
a good one.
Kita very very a lot of verticals. And then susah gitu kalau misalnya kalau that specialist after we do that the success rate and then ini jauh lebih kuat.
I think that's a good one, Ola. We can, yeah.
And terus kita juga we're going to deploy Halo Ticket, belajar dari grup juga karena we're now investing even doubling down in this time to about our customer service. We wanted to make sure karena people lupa justru kuncinya itu di post service. The retention and the customer lifetime value can only be achieved if you do a better post booking services. Ini yang biasa dilupain sama orang sih. Oh murah. Kalau kalian nggak main murah, I know. But kita dari awal kita memang juga fokusnya ke sana. Jadi kita coba tweak terus, caranya gimana, tweak terus gitu.
Yeah. Wow. Just that one is already worth the whole session, man.
Oh ya, that's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. We should learn from each other ya. Udah lama nggak ketemu juga
Okay.
ya.
Oh, sure.
Hello, Pak Dimas and Pak
Halo.
Vince. A bit of introduction. I am Raisen and I am currently an intern at automation team. Yeah, I wish to be converted as FTE, but okay, back to the question I have. So both of you really encouraging us to utilize AI in any field and or any kind of work that we have to do, right? But there's a lot of concern also about the risk of using AI regarding the data of our company, right? So because there's currently like news about DeepSeek that the news is telling us that DeepSeek using US companies' data to build their model, right? My question is, do you guys have any of the same concern about this data breach problems, and how do you guys planning to mitigate this kind of risk?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it.
That's an interesting question ya. First of all, make sure you guys using the right AI. I think number one, like you guys should know, if you're using the free version, the data is going to be used for training. I think that should be a common knowledge. Two, I think socialization is very important to the team, especially. Three, I think our company, we use multiple LLMs. So we set up in a way that is, I think if you work with Gemini or ChatGPT, the paid version for corporate, it is already apa ya ngomongnya dikurungin itu di apa udah desegregated for each of those companies. So that one shouldn't be an issue. It is an issue if you guys using your own personal version instead of the company one, and then especially if the free ones, then it's used to train the data. So yeah, as for it's used by the China companies, man, they're 10 years ahead of us.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be fair, because uh, yeah, unless it's specific customer data lah ya, then we are fucked basically. But
Yeah,
but the
B2B.
idea is you want to use the corporate ones,
Yeah.
the one is provided by the company when you discuss about the work stuff. Karena kalau salah pakai yang pakai personal atau some new LLMs that you want to try, mendingan pikir 2-3 kali dulu. Karena as like you said datanya bisa dipakai. Tapi mendingan just to be safe, especially you guys are under OJK dan just to be safe pakai yang company punya paid aja version aja.
Yeah.
Gitu.
Okay, one more questions. Oh, Norman, good.
How are you, Dimas?
Halo bro, udah lama.
Yeah, nice meeting you again. So the question is, you're a successful serial entrepreneur, and then you've been watching the recent trend in Indonesia startup, a lot of frauds. Investment this year compared to last year on year drop, value, volume. So it's kind of like bleak. And there is also recent development in technology, AI, and so on. Gitu. So my question is, if you're going to start again something new, what would you build? Gitu. And then the second question, you using a smartwatch, and you're also using Whoop. Why is that?
Good one.
Okay. I think I would, if I would to start again, I think I would still do what I do. Because I love my job. I think I get to meet like beautiful, smart people like you guys.
Ooh, beautiful.
Maksudnya beautiful mind gitu ya. Yang pinter gitu. Kalau bisnis itu is always cycle, I would say. Like commodity is cycle. AI is now on a cycle. It's actually lagi on the top. It will go down. There will be winter for AI. It's just like batu bara commodity is also cycle. AI is also cycle. Tech is also cycle. And I always believe in the fundamentals. I think ya udah lu boleh cycle. Like if your share price drop 50%, you are not 50% stupider than yesterday gitu. Jadi kayak you're still you gitu. It's just that how the customer perceives you. But as long you give value to the customers, I think that's okay. Because they might not see you now, but in the next cycle, maybe in 3 to 5 years, they will see you like gila nih orang jago banget. Padahal we've been doing the same thing for 5 years gitu. Lu aja nggak lihat gitu.
This is a learning from the dinosaurs, guys.
Yes. Gitu. Karena kita udah lihat berapa kali gitu.
Betul, udah berapa cycle gitu kan.
Udah banyak, terlalu banyak sampai I don't know, I lost count already.
Oh, that's a good learning. It's a seriously good learning.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just keep creating values. I would say, karena being busy is not creating values. Like creating values when you automate stuff, when you solve customers' problems, or when you optimize things. I mean, those are creating values. As for this, jadi the story is a bit personal, by the way.
Okay.
My watch is when I bought my friend give me this watch, and after I wear it for a couple of months, dia ada segitiga warning gede gitu. Low cardio fitness gitu. Disuruh
Okay.
nge-gym, disuruh basically for those of you who don't know, itu VO2 max tau nggak? VO2 max is the ability of the body to bring oxygen.
Oh,
gitu.
okay.
Jadi
Yeah,
kayak basically gua
like low ya. Huh?
not low, dangerously low kata Apple.
Oh.
Saya gua nggak percaya, gua beli Whoop dulu gitu.
And then
Ternyata beda. Di sini I was like normal is 35. I think it's also good learning juga ya. You test your data, guys.
yeah, of course.
Uh,
See, it is.
Ini 25,
Ya.
di sini keluarnya 24.
Okay.
24 itu tuh
Dangerously low.
dangerous itu karena normal untuk my age itu 33, 36.
Okay.
And here I'm 40.
Oh.
Langsung gue lebih cinta Whoop daripada Apple Watch. Cuma ini nggak ada jamnya aja. Yeah, I think it's another learning that I mean the real ones I need to go to hospital to,
Yeah.
with the mask and everything.
And did you?
Takut gue ini aja deh gitu. And yeah, I think it's important to check your data if you think it's not correct. I think nggak percaya karena kan
Yeah, it's
But
always good to validate.
because what I read, people who live sedentary lifestyle, I was like, do I live sedentary lifestyle? Kayaknya enggak deh, gue aktif. Makanya that's why I buy this. And ternyata my hypothesis was right. Jadi test your hypothesis. Beli Whoop. Jualan nih. Enggak. Jangan beli, mahal.
What we find is this thing, right? To prove you're right, to prove someone's successful, is very difficult. It's too many factors. But to prove you wrong, I think that's the easiest. So proving wrong is actually better than proving right because you can learn from mistake. It's very difficult to learn from success. No.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Dimas.